Boise State's Alvaro Cardenas leads the Mountain West in assists and is trying to guide the Broncos back into the conference lead. Tonight, it's a matchup against the versatile Kobe Sanders and the sharpshooting Nevada Wolfpack.
It's college basketball on CBS Sports Network. A beautiful, crisp, clear evening in Boise, Idaho, as we get set for a Mountain West Conference matchup between the Nevada Wolfpack and the Boise State Broncos here at ExtraMile Arena. If you check out the Mountain West Conference standings, Boise State 5-4. It has been a competitive conference slate, and Nevada, one of 6 teams receiving first place votes, currently at 3-6. And with that, we say good evening. Jordan Kent alongside my good friend Mike O'Donnell. And Mike, you look at Nevada and Boise State, 2 teams with a lot of talent, just trying to find their rhythm once again. Nevada looking for what they can do to speed things up offensively. And for Boise State, 3 losses this season in the final 7 seconds of games.
Nevada plays at one of the slowest tempos in the nation. They have to find ways to manufacture points in transition. For Boise State, if they want to knock on the door of being an at-large bid, have to take care of business at home.
For Boise State, Tyson Dagenhart, one of the top scorers in the Mountain West, and also one of the most difficult matchups one-on-one.
Dagenhart has turned himself into becoming a future Hall of Famer at Boise State. He's top 10 in the Mountain West in scoring, offensive rebounding, field goal percentage, and his ability to dominate on the interior is as impressive as it gets.
He'll match up against Nick Davidson of Nevada, and you really love the way that these 2 players play. Kind of a similar game on the floor.
Oh, Davidson's tough as nails in the post. He's efficient, he's smooth, and he's very surgical when he has the ball inside of 7 feet. Top 10 in the Mountain West in scoring and does a phenomenal job of attacking the offensive glass. A footwork maestro for the Wolfpack.
Nevada, the Wolfpack, will they find their alpha tonight on the road, or can the Boise State Broncos have enough horsepower to finish one late down the stretch? Tip-off, starting lineups when we come back.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. And by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Solid crowd here at ExtraMile Arena as we take a look at the starting lineups for tonight for Nevada. Xavier Dussel, second in the Mountain West in 3-point field goal percentage. And for Boise State, Andrew Meadow has gotten a haircut recently, and his game has stepped up since then. The opposite of Sampson as we take a look at the series history between these 2 programs. Leon Rice, head coach for Boise State, getting ready to guide his troops. Nevada leads the all-time series 53-33, but Boise State has won 5 of the last 7 meetings. It'll be Emmanuel Ugbo facing off against Brandon Love for the opening tip, and Mike O'Donnell. 3-point shooting for Nevada. Boise State's ability to defend the 3 and how they're going to defend some of these ball screens is something you're keeping an eye out for.
It's also going to be really interesting to see what kind of tempo that Nevada plays with. There is no question that they play at one of the slowest tempos in the nation. And a big point of emphasis for head coach Steve Alford is, can we find any type of momentum and points in transition in this game?
Nevada, the 4th tallest team in all of college basketball. Every starter 6'3" or taller. They go inside, and an early foul against Boise State as Brandon Love got disheveled. That foul is going to go against the Broncos. As we take a look at Steve Alford, 6th season as Nevada head coach, has guided 5 separate programs to the NCAA tournament, 3-time Mountain West Conference Coach of the Year, and the 10th most wins amongst active head coaches in his 34 season as a Division I coach. First free throw no good for Brandon Love. That last foul was on Andrew Meadow, his first. They talked about Love getting healthy and what he could mean to this team. He could be that X factor that helps this offense pick up the pace.
That was the idea when Brandon Love became available in the transfer portal. He was a transfer from Texas Tech, averaged about 10 points a game, is known to have a huge motor. And we're seeing a little bit of, token full court pressure from the Wolfpack, trying to speed up the game a little bit. Certainly something that Nevada would love to do for the rest of the season.
It was interesting. Steve Alford was saying our offense was affecting our defense, and when shots weren't going in, we weren't playing as intense on the other end. We're hoping that the defense can pick things up. Cardenas, his pass trying to go inside to Ugbo, and he couldn't handle it, so an early turnover for the Broncos. Davison trying to get the mismatch against Cardenas, and a turnover by the Wolfpack. And Leon Rice, his 15th season at Boise State, school's all-time winningest coach, has the second most wins in Mountain West Conference history as well, to only San Diego State's Steve Fisher.
That's an impressive resume. They went 13-5 last season, on their way to an NCAA tournament bid.
Degenhart on the block, kicks it back out. Cardenas will let a three fly, and he knocks it down.
Absolute season game changer for Boise State if Cardenas is going to become more consistent from three. Shooting just 31% this season, shot almost 39% last season at San Jose State.
Leon Rice was talking about him being the best pure point guard he's ever had in his 15 seasons at Boise State. Love down low, skips off the rim.
You want to talk about high praise, Drew.
Oh,
because Leon Rice has coached some phenomenal players, especially at the point guard position. He was comparing some of the passing and vision that Cardenas has to what it was like watching John Stockton at Gonzaga. You don't throw that name around casually.
No, not at all.
An all-time compliment.
Has loved the pick and roll game with Cardenas. Meadow blocked down low from behind. That was Foster with the block. Shot clock winding down. Ugbo, his shot is blocked. So the Wolfpack holding their water defensively.
These are two teams in the half court that have no issues taking their time, working down the shot clock. You have to be ready to defend, not for 20 seconds, but for 30 seconds.
Sanders looking down low to Love. Meadow, the deflection official, trying to get out of the way. Keen with the deflection, mind you. Dussel able to ward him off. You talked about the tempo, and not a lot of speeding going on here at ExtraMile.
No, I mean, Ken Palm tracks 364 Division I teams, and you could see both teams towards the bottom of the list in terms of how fast they play. You're really trying to count how many possessions are played each game.
Sanders, fade away, no good. Ugbo, excellent box down. That'll be Boise State ball. And we point out the box out because both these teams, the top two rebounding teams in the Mountain West Conference here, Mike.
Yeah.
And how about the stat with the offensive rebound percentage for Boise State, the job they do on the defensive glass?
Well, they have the best rebounding margin in the Mountain West. They're +8. What's crazy is Nevada is second, but there's half of the rebounding margin that Boise State has.
We described it as a chasm of a difference between the two, and Boise State and their shoot-around brought out the football pads to work on rebounding drills rather aggressively just a couple of hours before tip. That ball poked out of bounds by Love. 9 seconds to shoot on the baseline for Boise State.
Excellent help defense on the baseline as the Broncos ran a stagger screen. Meadow faded it, ripped baseline, but then good help defense by the Wolfpack on the baseline.
Degenhart controls, 6 to shoot for him up top. Cardenas.
Nice defense.
Working against Sanders, tough shot. And that's the second shot clock violation in the early part of the game here by Nevada.
That is a great sign for Steve Alford's club. This is late in the shot clock, lining up. You've got a faster player in Cardenas, but Kobe Sanders, excellent moving the feet, playing without fouling, walling up, contesting the shot.
Mike, an early trend. Boise State averages just over 11 turnovers per game. They have 3 already in less than 4 minutes of action. Davison whips a pass, cross court. Dussel left wide open. This is the open tray. That ball's going to be swatted out of bounds. Bronco basketball.
I don't mean to be too aggressive here, but a lot of times coaches will call that fool's gold defense because you left arguably the best three-point shooter in the Mountain West wide open on the wing for a three. Just didn't go in.
Ducell's third in Mountain West Conference history and made threes.
History.
History.
Yeah.
Of this storied lead. Javen Buchanan checking in. Gets the ball on the block, working against Davidson. Gets disheveled. Shot clock winding down again. Degenhart, pump fake, puts it on the floor. Big fella storming towards the rim and picks up the foul. So it'll be Degenhart at the line when we come back. Early 3-1 advantage for Boise State. Well, it's been some early masonry work for both teams. Boise State with the 3-1 lead as we get to our keys to the game, brought to you by Metro, Mike.
Well, for Nevada, we talked about it. They want to play more up-tempo style, and they have to play hard without fouling. The Wolfpack have a tendency to be fouling too much this season. Teams are shooting 76% from the free throw line. Boise State find that extra possession, crashing the offensive glass, and return the favor by you must defend the three. Nevada is an excellent three-point shooting team. 37% from three as a team, second best in the Mountain West.
Boise State's giving up 42% shooting from three. That's worse than the Mountain West. Well, how about Boise State at home this season? 8-1, scoring north of 84 points per game. Shooting the ball very well. We've talked about the rebounding margin. Right now, they lead 4-0 on the glass as their star, Tyson Degenhart, struts to the free throw line. And you talk about a player that has just been the pillar of this Boise State program every year he's been here, continues to get better and better season after season.
Wow, was he good against Colorado State, even though it was a loss, losing by 3. Almost, you know, Jaden Lake hits that 3 with just a few seconds left. But Degenhart dropped 27 against Colorado State, was 10 of 17 from the field.
He was the preseason Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. That's going to be a very competitive battle, but you love the aspect of his game, his footwork, and his efficiency when he catches it off the block. See Boise State throwing out a bit of a full court press just to slow down the Wolfpack. Really going so far. Sanders has seemed to have done a nice job of getting them in and out of their sets, even though they don't have the score on the show for it.
I would say 2 really good looks early on for the Wolfpack that just haven't fallen.
Shot clock at 8. Foster, cross-court pass. Nearly lost out of bounds by Davidson. 2 to shoot. The cut by Sanders. And with 1 second left, Nevada will not have much sand in the hourglass to work with here.
Yeah, really smart cut by Sanders. Off the ball cut on that post-entry pass. It's just catch and shoot here with 1 second left.
Anything change for you defensively in this situation?
Don't foul if you throw it up near the rim.
Ducell, clean catch. He's going to miss everything, and that is a shot clock violation, this time forced by Boise State. Nevada in the middle of a 4-minute field goal drought.
Jordan, you and I have been in these games before. It's the right middle of conference play, and both teams coming off losses, very disappointing losses, and you're like, we just find something, some type of rhythm? Maybe shots aren't falling. I guarantee you the bodies don't feel good right now. Everybody's banged up, sore and tired. Got to find a way to grit through possessions in the middle of the gauntlet of Mountain West play.
Keene creates an extra possession for Boise State as he swats it alive.
Nice
Keene in the corner, up top. Buchanan drives, tries to find the angle, and he is fouled across the head. They're going to whistle this against the sophomore Justin McBride, the transfer from Oklahoma State, his first foul.
I really like Javen Buchanan's game. He's a junior, transferred from NAIA Indiana Wesleyan, where he averaged 28 points a game. He's actually shooting better from 3 in Division I than he was in NAIA. Shot about 35% from 3 last season at Indiana Wesleyan, shooting just over 37% from 3. And he actually has the 7th best effective field goal percentage in the Mountain West, close to 60%. That's a guy that, really reaps the benefits of a player like Cardenas, spotting up and attacking off the ball.
He splits a pair and attack with Buchanan. His thing is trying to stay out of foul trouble. There's a local article that talks about he just needs to stay on the floor. The plus-minus for Boise State has been sensational over the last couple of games. Broncos right now on a 6-0 run. Tyler Rollison feeds it into Davidson. Davidson sees the double, and there's a little bit too much mustard on that pass as it sails out of bounds. That's the third turnover for Nevada. Both these teams do a good job of distributing the ball, but right now, just one combined assist between both teams.
Well, Nevada came into this game as one of the best in the country, one of the best passing teams in the nation. They assist on 61% of their made field goals. That's 20th best. Good wall up defensively there by McBride. Watch Justin McBride come from the weak side, straight up, straight down. Arms are a little bit down. You'd like it if they were forward, but that's a tough wall up. Excuse me, you would like it if they were more upright, straight up, excuse me.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of situations sometimes where guys come down like that and they end up whistling them for the foul. So 8 to shoot. Cardenas slips it over to Carmichael. Inside, Degenhart goes up, in and out off the glass. Keene once again sailing out of bounds, keeps it alive. Buchanan spinning to the baseline. Buchanan, a flurry of moves, well defended again by McBride. And some stout low post defense from the Wolfpack. Trey Coleman, who normally gets the start, coming off the bench here for Nevada as he swings it over to Foster. Foster working against Degenhart, patrols the baseline. Coleman lets it fly, skips off the back. Nevada still without a field goal, down the floor. Buchanan gets behind the defense, and an easy 2 for him.
Smooth look from Cardenas. One dribble. He could take a picture of the court in one dribble and see where everybody's at.
Wolfpack 0 for 5 to start this game. Foster back to Davidson, trying to get the first field goal, and it's a big one for Nevada as he cuts the lead to 4.
What a luxury it is for your 6'10" forward to shoot over 38% from 3. You want to talk about creating good spacing opportunities for your offense.
What a relief that is for Nevada. You felt the pressure starting to amp up. Defense forces a steal. It's Rollison.
You mentioned it earlier, Jordan. You know, it seems that their defense of intensity is affected by if they're making shots or not. So 2 shots fall down. All of a sudden you get a steal. Maybe you get a deflection on this possession. It's not, but it's not sustainable. That's the one thing. Coach Alford will tell you the same thing. You can't allow your defense to be affected if you're making shots or not on the offensive end.
About the last couple of minutes for McBride, a couple of blocks. Buchanan tries to rainbow in a 3. In and out. Rollison pushing the pace. Coleman thought about it, lost the rock, and that's going to be stolen by Buchanan in the active hands. Cardenas will slow it down, and we talked to Coach Rice. He talked about the change of pace for Cardenas. Nearly airmails that one.
That was an awesome pass from Cardenas, and it's shocking that Degenhart wasn't ready for it, but not because that Degenhart doesn't have the IQ to do it. It was just such a good pass.
Foster heads up defensive play, draws the charge, foul against Degenhart.
Nobody does a better job of court mapping than Cardenas. Always knows where his teammates are. Not to be outdone, McBride ripping a 3. Okay, we've got a 1-point game here in the Mountain West.
A 1-point lead for Boise State, 11:38 left here in the first half. And Mike, let's get to your mid-season Mountain West Conference predictions, in which you'll be judged harshly for here in a couple of weeks.
No doubt about it. Donovan Dent leading the Mountain West in scoring, and he's also one of the best passers as well. Jared Calhoun, I think that's an easy pick for Coach of the Year. Nobody expected Utah State to be that good. I got Lagoon Gua for Freshman of the Year. I think there's multiple players that are going to be up for that award, but he's actually 5th in the nation in block percentage, also averaging 8 a game. And I just think that the team to beat is Utah State. The Aggies are exceptional on both ends of the floor. It's not that as if they play at a really fast pace, but they are crazy efficient offensively. They are stout defensively. Utah State looks to be like Sweet 16 good.
The net ranking for the Mountain West teams, and this has been a terrific conference as far as getting teams in the NCAA tournament. Right now, it looks like 3 are pretty safe. New Mexico, Nevada, Boise State, still a little work to do.
Yeah, Jerry Palm has New Mexico actually playing in the first 4 as one of the last teams in. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. They got that quad 1 win over UCLA. They'll have 3 more quad 1 opportunities. San Diego State, too, it still should be in. Jerry Palm's got him as like a 10 seed. Jerry Palm also has Utah State as a 6 seed. Boise State not in the conversation right now, although, you know, we know in Mountain West play, you're always going to have 2 to 3 more quad 1 opportunities because the conference is always loaded. Since 6 teams, 6 big Mountain West last season, Jordan.
Last foul was on KJ Himes. You have to credit San Diego State, arguably the best win in the conference against Houston earlier this year.
You want to know who could be a bid thief this season? Colorado State is playing really well right now. Coach Medved has turned a corner for that Rams team.
Buchanan on catching fire. Trey rattles home. His energy on both ends of the floor has really helped Boise State race out to this early advantage. Has been terrific off the bench so far. Rollison dumps it off. KJ Himes checking in. Sanders, strong drive to the cup. Athletic move, nearly gets the and one, and that foul against Julian Bowie.
David Buchanan, transfer from Indiana Wesleyan. He's got great energy transfer on his shot, Jordan. He's really smooth, over 37% from 3. Had 11 points and 2 blocks in 20 minutes off the bench their last game versus Colorado State.
Energy transfer. Did you come up with that during your cold plunge and staring into the sun this morning?
No, although I am an Andrew Huberman disciple.
If I had the time to do that in the morning, I absolutely would.
Well, you make time by waking up early and being tough.
See, the thing is, I've got 4 alarm clocks that run in and usually wake me up at that time anyway.
It's true. You do have more children than I do. Yes, I know. Okay, that's fine. You're a better father than me.
No, not at all.
Energy transfer is, when you're shooting, it's a shooter's term. And what you're trying to identify is simple movements, going from point A to point B in the least amount of movement possible. So your energy from where you catch it to where you release it needs to be smooth. You don't want it to go left to right. One straight line.
Deflected near the sideline by Coleman. A swarming defense from Nevada. They forced 2 shot clock violations. Boise State with just 11 points. Just over 10 minutes left here in the first half. Broncos 3 for 11 from the field. 1 for 7 from 2. That's key because they're one of the best 2-point shooting teams in the country. Omar Stanley, 10 to shoot. Trying to back down Himes. Stanley pounding the rock, going up with the left, and an excellent finish.
He changes the entire season for Boise State. He's struggling this season. He isn't the same type of player he was last season. And if it starts to click for him now, it couldn't come at a more perfect time, Jordan.
He felt a little extra juice from the crowd when he scored that basket. They understand kind of what he's going through right now. And that's going to be a foul against Meadow on the defensive end.
Yeah, Omar Stanley was second-team All-Mountain West last season. Averaged 12 points a game. He's averaging just around 8 this season. He did have off-season foot surgery coming out of last season, but you know, you look at the stats, and you want to talk about could you have used Omar Stanley against that Colorado State loss? Of course. We only played 12 minutes and only had 2 points. Changes the entire outlook of the season for the Broncos when he's dialed in.
Sanders, his 3 off target. Stanley with the board. Cardenas surveying the floor as he trots it down. Stanley, he'll let it go. Checks up at the left side of the rim. And a save as Kobe Sanders goes spilling into the crowd. That's Rollison that initiate the offense. Nevada started this game off 0 for 5. 2 for their last 3. Long rebound into the hand of Sanders. Sandwiched between 2 defenders. He rips it away. Coleman thought about it for a second. 8 to shoot. Coleman gets into the paint, tucks it like a football. No good. Himes, another offensive rebound. This time, though, spills the ball like Kevin's famous chili. Here comes Cardenas back down the other way. Bowie, nice time to Degenhardt, and he gets the finish.
That's Boise State basketball. What an excellent head fake by Bowie, the freshman.
Nevada, 0 field goals in the last 3.5 minutes. They hit back-to-back threes to cut the lead to 1. And had a field goal since then. Shovel pass to Hines. Checks up at the cup.
Second time Hines has had looks around the rim and hasn't been able to convert. Got lob.
Cardenas to Stanley. Stanley can't handle it. He thought he got pushed underneath. Talked to Coach Rice, and he said Cardenas' ability to pass his teammates open.
One of the best lines I've ever heard about to describe a point guard, in particular Cardenas. He said he's 75% player, 25% coach. He sees everything on the floor.
Meto's got to be careful. He's got 2 fouls. Rollison locked up by Cardenas. Contested triple. Oh, a mug shot from up top in the eye of Cardenas.
I like Rollison's game. The tempo seems faster, more aggressive when the ball's in his hands and he's in the game.
Alford said maybe sacrificing size for Rollison's speed at point guard is the remedy for our pace. Rollison is 6 feet tall. And then a foul on the other end from Hines. So 3-point lead for Boise State. Nevada keeping it stride, though.
The Idaho Class 4A Player of the Year with an absolute dime to Dagenhart. And Rollison, inside-out crossover, rips a 3. Man, it's Mountain West ball, and we got a game.
Three-point Bronco lead, 7:30 left here in the first half in Boise. Well, CBS Sports Network's coverage of college hoops continues tomorrow with a doubleheader starting at 6 Eastern. Charleston hosts Stony Brook, followed by a Conference USA clash as Liberty takes on Kennesaw State at 8. The Owls of Kennesaw State undefeated at home this year, but the flaming hot Liberty team comes in. They lead Conference USA in field goal percentage, 3-pointers made, assists per game, and points per game. Richie McKay and his squad getting it done this season.
And they're closing in on 40% from 3 as a team. That's top 15 in college basketball. Liberty's 16-4. They got wins over Kansas State, McNeese. Took Florida Atlantic into overtime. One of the great 3-point shooting teams in college basketball this season. Shooters all over the floor, Jordan.
Nevada's got some shooters tonight. All their field goals have been threes tonight. They're shooting at a much better clip than they did against San Diego State in their loss last Saturday.
Well, that's because of the Broncos defense. You can see how hard it is to get into the paint off the bounce against the Broncos half-court defense. It is stout.
Stanley missing the free throw. This is a Boise State team that shoots 77% from the line, and they make 17 free throws per game. That percentage, second in the conference. The most makes per game in the Mountain West. And
right to those top 35 in the country.
They're 4 of 6 to start this game. You pointed it out. Nevada's had some games where they fouled quite a bit. The Wolfpack would need to be mindful. Just 14 fouls so far, so it feels like they're doing well there.
But they've been better. The last 2 games, they've been better at playing hard without fouling.
We have an offensive foul against Nevada. That's going to be Brandon Love on the illegal screen. So that's already the 7th turnover for the Wolfpack. Boise State 5 of 15 to start this game, out rebounding Nevada by 3. They do have 4 assists on those 5 field goals. Carmichael up top, Dagenhart wide open. Oh, knocks it down. Dagenhart with a game high 7 right now. He is 2 of 4 to go along with 1 dime. Wolfpack swinging it around. Davidson's been rather quiet to start this game for Nevada. He sets the screen. We talked about it. That wall that Boise State is setting up defensively, nothing able to get inside. Chuck Bailey's jumper, no good, and another offensive rebound as it was Love fighting for it. And that's the 3rd offensive rebound of this game for Nevada. Fouls on Pearson Carmichael, his first. 5th team foul for Boise State as Brandon Love will head back to the line where he's 1 of 2 on the night. Hits the first one. So, Mike, situations, and you've been there before as a point guard, where it feels like you can't get anything easy in the paint. How do you break that type of defense down? Is it about ball movement, or is it more important about player movement?
I would always think about two things. Number one is I've got to be able to take my guy off the bounce. I got to be able to shift the defense enough to where I'm not selfish, but I'm attacking to draw additional defenders. Drawing help helps your spacing. You can force the defense to overhelp. Someone's going to be open, and that's a good thing because Nevada is one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country.
Bowie, his long three off target. Nevada will bring it back down. Foster, the drive, collides with Keene. Foster thought about the jumper. Here's a cut. Bailey, excellent finish at the rim.
Off-ball cutting is contagious. If you get one, then every other teammate's like, okay, there's an opportunity for off-ball cutting. I want to cut. I want to get an opportunity to get a quick bucket.
That's the first two-point field goal of the game for Nevada. And it comes.
Carry. Wow, that was a carry on Carmichael.
Sometimes you get away with one. Ugbo in the block. Degenhardt calling for it. Casts another one. And it's good.
I know it's a simple thing, but did you hear him clap for the ball? Just a small IQ plays by Degenhardt. He's been doing that all career long. Boise State's up.
Tyson Degenhardt came into this game shooting just 30% from three. He said in the offseason, I want to work on my outside game, and the work is paying off tonight.
This three doesn't happen if he doesn't let his teammate know who knows he's open. And I know that sounds like a very simple, obvious thing, but not only did he clap, but he yelled for it as well. You have to talk to your teammates. There's never been an elite player who doesn't communicate on the floor.
Degenhardt and Buchanan combining for 16 points. Degenhardt with 10 of those, 3 of 5 with those 2 triples. There's a timeout called by Boise State, so Leon Flagg's going to get a quick bit of substitution. Buchanan back in the game. Sanders, his 2 off target. Bailey was trying to throw it down. He hangs on the rim. Keene pushes it down the floor. Degenhardt quickly closed out upon.
That was great transition defense by the Wolfpack. Getting back, matching up, communicating. Because it initially looked like there was going to be numbers for the Broncos.
And I think this pass was deflected. Degenhardt was trotting towards the ball, trying to communicate with the official. Was this deflected? Couldn't get a clear answer, but it appeared to be deflected as it was passed. Look.
That is absolutely deflected. That's Chuck Bailey, the sophomore, with his right hand. Are they saying away with one? I think he hit his hand, not the ball?
Correct. Ducell, you see the quick closeout by Keene. Ducell, a rare 2-point attempt, and he is fouled on it. Just his second 2-point shot attempt in the last handful of games. And Keene will pick up his first foul. Xavier Ducell, who has made a bit of a tour of the Mountain West, spent some time in Wyoming, was last at Fresno State. You see that last 4 games of his 13 field goals, 12 of those have been threes as he ices the first free throw.
That's where the reason why he's at the free throw line is because of those numbers. You're so worried about the three that you have to trail him and lock him. But if you get a good down screen, that pin down, if you curl it the right way, you're going to get that one dribble mid-range jumper opportunity.
Players like Ducell were so hard to defend against because you couldn't give them an inch. And the second you bit on anything, you felt like you're always in a position to foul potentially.
Well, then he's hitting shots off the bounce. It turns into a scorer, not just a shooter. There's a difference between being a scorer and a shooter.
Degenhardt whistle for the travel. That'll be the 7th turnover for Boise State. See, each team with 7. The Broncos with the 12-5 advantage, points off turnovers. Still nursing a 4-point lead. Just over 4 minutes left here in the first half. Ducell, catch and fire. Triple off the front of the rim. And Cardenas comes down, ripped away by Foster. Davidson, this time trying to work, and he's going to be called for the travel as that left foot slid a little bit.
Degenhardt read that the whole way. He knew that Davidson was going to drop, pivot, and go to his left shoulder. Watch him step up right into it, and then you see his left foot take that huge step to wall up and defend that left shoulder of Davidson. It's not an it's not an exciting play to talk about, but it's an exceptionally high IQ play defense.
Yeah. Some of us love great defensive basketball, the fundamentals that come.
I know that's not
you. It's not just about threes and dunks. It's the little things.
That's not you. I know your game.
Buchanan gets it back to Degenhardt. Double team comes. Degenhardt fading away. Tough shot. Bailey loses it. It's Buchanan now, and Buchanan holding that right shoulder as he is on the floor. Will step aside for a moment. Boise State with the 4-point advantage. Four-point lead for Boise State. 3:36 left here in the first half. Coach O'Donnell, why don't you take us through some of the half-court sets here for Boise State?
Really good execution from the Broncos on the baseline runner. And Carmichael's in the corner. He's going to receive 2 screens. Number 1, number 2, and baseline runner to the corner. And it catches Nevada sleeping just enough. First screen, second screen. But once Carmichael catches it, thinks he has a look. The drop, pivots, pound the ball, find an open teammate. That is Broncos execution to a T, and that's a freshman, Pearson Carmichael, making a big-time play. Young player, freshman from Oregon, 2-time Oregon Player of the Year, averaged 27 a game.
Went to Summit High School in Bend. I played with his high school coach in AAU ball in the summer, and Coach Wells said, an unbelievable young man and a great basketball player also. Very proud of him.
Did you get an opportunity to coach Pearson Carmichael as well when you were in Oregon?
You know, ran a couple of camps, and he was a youngster there.
Wow.
It made me feel really old when I saw him.
Yeah.
He said, I went to your camp 10 years ago.
He called you Mr. Kent.
Mr. Kent, sir, can I help you with your bag, is what he said. And
wow.
But at 18 years young, he's been sensational. Has 2 assists coming off the bench, and those are just little things that help as you get the foul registered there on Chuck Bailey. Cardenas gets it down low to Stanley. Double team comes. Stanley trying to look over the top of it. Cross court pass. Keene lowers the shoulder. And that's going to be whistled a block. So the infamous block charge. It's going to be whistled against Foster.
It was an excellent kick out off the double team from Omar Stanley. Foster's still moving a little bit too much.
So R.J. Keene, who has done an excellent job of just keeping a lot of basketballs alive in this game, the junior from the Woodlands, Texas, steps to the line. Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Nevada 4 of 16 from the field. Only 1 made 2-point shot, yet still they trail by just 4.
They're trying to go inside of Davidson. They got it.
Davidson working against Degenhardt, and a tough hook shot over Degenhardt. And Davidson now with 5 for Nevada. Cardenas tries to rifle a pass. Ducell with some active hands. Gets the deflection. Boise State ball on the sideline. One more look at this.
Davidson went down to set a pin down screen and then immediately went to duck in Degenhardt. Not easy to do. A little show of sportsmanship as well. A little tap on the back.
Yeah. Look at that shoulder to the nose of Degenhardt. Just some good physical play between 2 competitive players. You like to see it.
Started with the 2 best post players in the Mountain West.
Cardenas nearly lost it. Buchanan up top. Degenhardt, corner 3. A little too strong, and that's going to be a foul against Stanley as Davidson got an excellent box out. We're coming up on AT&T at the half. Adam Zucker, Roy Hibbert, Ice Young, and Gary Parrish are standing by in our New York studio. They'll get you up to speed on today's college basketball action. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. Really exciting time of the year in college basketball when conference play picks up, and we've seen some wild finishes. This is when you see a lot of mayhem typically happen as well.
Well, college basketball embraces chaos more than any other sport in the country. It's the best sport in the world. And that's really what it comes down to. I don't even know of any other sports that exist outside of college basketball.
Yeah, I've learned not to talk about any kind of pigskin with you over the last couple of weeks, my friend, as Nevada has tied this game. After Davidson with a pair of free throws, he's got 7, and he's been perfect from the field and line.
You've seen this full court pressure a few times in this game from Nevada. It's not really looking to get a steal, more looking to just disrupt tempo for Boise State.
Rollison trying to be in the pocket of Cardenas. It's been a 6-0 run for the Wolfpack. Boise State now nearing a 3-minute scoring drought. Buchanan trying to get open down low. Well defended by Sanders. 5 to shoot. Cardenas is going to have to do something with it. Trying to shake Rollison. He'll let it fly. And Buchanan, perfect positioning to draw the foul on the offensive rebound attempt. That's going to be against Ducell. That'll be his second.
We talk a lot about Degenhardt and Cardenas, but Javen Buchanan and R.J. King bring so many winning plays to this lineup, right? And a lot of times you may call them like, you know, glue guys, right? And sometimes that gets overused, but they're players that just always seem to have a nose for the ball and keep possessions alive.
And I'm glad you pointed that out, because so often in a close game, Mike, people will look at what was the last play of the game. Oh, that determined the game. When in reality, there's so many of those little plays that don't show up in the stat sheet, right? The deflection to keep a ball alive. You don't necessarily get credit for the offensive rebound. But the points off of those hustle plays, invaluable, and coaches value that so much.
Those are winning plays.
Buchanan 8 points, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, but we've talked about his energy has been infectious on both ends of the floor. Sanders trying to go high-low to Davidson. Buchanan sitting on that hip. Rollison fired, bothered by Cardenas. An excellent defensive stop.
I think Buchanan's the MVP on that defensive possession. He was able to front Davidson and come up with a tough rebound.
Just over 1:30 left here in the first half. Boise State and Nevada coming off tough losses, both hunting for a win. Boise State essentially a must-win for them tonight to continue to stay alive in the NCAA tournament race, and a timeout on the floor with 1:25 left here in the first half. It's a 2-point game. Broncos, slight control here at home. Two-point Boise State lead, 1:25 left here in the first half. And if you're Nevada, if you were told coming into this game, as you see, 15 fouls, 15 turnovers, 12 field goals made. It's a beautiful game. It just depends on how you look at it sometimes. This is a beautiful defensive game thus far.
Not great offense, Bob. No, not great.
But if you're Nevada, if someone said you're shooting 28% with 8 turnovers on the road,
absolutely,
you're only down 2, you'll take that 10 out of 10.
And the reason why Boise State, my opinion, is up 2 right now is it's not just the turnovers by Nevada, but the capitalization by the Broncos. They have 12 points off of Nevada's 8 turnovers.
What's interesting is Boise State leads the conference in made free throws at 17 per game, but it's Nevada that is 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Their ability to get to the stripe has kept them in this game. They only have 1 lead change so far. That was after Nevada led 1-0. Davidson working inside, his first miss of the night. Under a minute left here in the first half. Degenhardt with 10 points to lead all scorers. Cardenas with just 1 assist leads the Mountain West Conference in dimes per game. Loses Rollison, gets to the corner, and a tough finish as he gets sent to the canvas. Possible 2 for 1 for Nevada here. Foster thought about the 3, puts it on the floor. Rollison over to Sanders. He tees one up. No good. Offensive rebound. Nevada can hold for the final shot. Where do you feel the Wolfpack can get their best look here?
I would always defer to Davidson. One-on-one in the post, you got Stanley. Degenhardt's not guarding him right now.
Shot clock did reset to 20, so they will have to put it up. 5-second differential. Rollison draws the foul on the 3-point shot. They got Cardenas with the hip. And that's a monstrous call at this point in the game for a Nevada team that has lived at the free throw line.
Well, it's the classic case of great defense. Cardenas sticks his hand in there enough. Even if he if it's like a less than an inch off, that positioning of going low to get a piece of the ball, almost every single time you're going to draw that foul.
Rollison, an 88% free throw shooter, strings the first one. It's so interesting you point that out because remember when we were younger, they talked about if someone brings the ball low, trace the ball at that hand, but now offensive players, they're so smart to rip it through that arm and draw the foul in a lot of situations too.
Off the bounce, late shot clock, my head would always go to never go for a steal off the bounce. If you're going to contest at the point of release. It saves yourself from getting that foul.
To put things into perspective, Nevada with 24 points, 11 of those so far have come from the free throw line. Boise State's going to have about 6.8 seconds to work with it here. As the third free throw rolls out, it's Cardenas sprinting down the floor. 2-1. Cardenas unimpeded to the cup. Goaltend's going to count the basket. And the Broncos, with some last-second horsepower, get down the floor and build their lead to 4 with 0.2 seconds left. And that's going to be halftime as Cardenas turns on the Jets. One more look.
Back-to-back buckets for Cardenas attacking the rim. The more he does that, the more dangerous his offensive repertoire becomes. He was in his bag in those last 2 possessions.
Cardenas with 7, Degenhardt with 10 to lead the way for Boise State. Well, that's the end of the first half with the score 28-24 Broncos. After the break, we'll send you to Adam and the gang in New York with AT&T at the half. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. About to start the second half of action here in Boise, Idaho. Boise State with a 28-24 lead over Nevada. With that, we say welcome again. Jordan Kent alongside Mike O'Donnell. And Mike, offensively, wasn't the prettiest first half. How do both teams find some easy baskets, establish rhythm here in the second?
I like when Nevada tries to push in transition. And for Boise State, every time that they're in the ball screen and there's off-screen or off-cutting movement, they're getting into the paint when they want.
Tyson Degenhardt for Boise State, terrific in the first half. 10 points, 3 of 7 from the field.
No surprising that one of the all-time great Mountain West and Boise State players, Degenhardt, had an excellent first half. 10 points for Degenhardt. A couple of shots were hard to come by, but knocked down a couple threes and was active in the first half. Nevada's three-point shooting. They knocked down 3, but they had about 3 or 4 looks that were wide open that just didn't go down. And sometimes that can be fool's gold defense for the Broncos because Nevada is one of the last teams in the Mountain West that you want to find rhythm from a three-point line. They shoot over 37% from 3.
3 of Nevada's 5 field goals in the first half were three-pointers. It was the free throw line that kept the Wolfpack into this. Both teams combined for 15 turnovers. Davidson with 7 points.
Let's keep in mind on how early Rollison comes into the game for Nevada, because I thought he had an excellent first half, pushing the tempo, being aggressive, attacking into the paint.
Cardenas had back-to-back buckets in the paint. The dish. Oh, nothing prettier than a wide-open Meadow. And that 3 is money. So Boise State, a quick strike to start this second half. Now the lead is at 7, their largest of the game. Davidson fades at the cup, and Degenhardt with another board. Keene. That's going to be a foul, as a little bit of physicality, and that's going to be against Brandon Love, his second.
One of the best passers in college basketball, drawing 3 defenders, the obvious open look, kick out for 3. Cardenas is 7th in the nation in assists per game, almost 8 a game.
7 assists on 10 made baskets for Boise State. The efficiency has been there as far as sharing the basketball. It's just getting those percentages up. Degenhardt, his triple. And that's going to be a foul on the floor as Ugbo drawing another one. And looks like they're going to get Sanders. And for Sanders, that'll be his first.
Excuse me, I'd just like to correct something. I had a brief turnover. I said almost 8 assists a game. He's almost 7 assists a game. for Cardenas, and that's a hook and hold if I've ever seen one. Easy call for the ref.
One of those winning plays that we've talked about before. And then Degenhardt gets clobbered, and it'll be a toss-up between Dussel. They're going to get Davidson, though, as both of them collapsed in on Degenhardt. So 3 quick fouls against Nevada in the first 57 seconds of the second half.
This is where Boise State is very efficient. They're top 20 in the nation according to Synergy in baseline out-of-bounds scoring. And if they don't get a quick look, they get set up immediately and try to get in their action.
Cardenas with just 2 assists so far in the evening. Beautiful find to Keene. Keene up top. Meadow left wide open again. No good. Nevada able to close out the possession.
They found something in these last 2 possessions with Cardenas getting into the paint.
Dussel sprinting towards the cup. Physical finish. Another rare 2-pointer for him. Cardenas the roll. Ugbo collapsed upon. Kept alive. Who else but it's Keene. Cardenas. His triple. It's good.
You get the sense that the passing from the Broncos is much crisper than it was in the first half.
2 assists on 2 made threes. Cardenas trying to swat at it. Davidson dishes it over to Foster. Foster trying to get into the paint. A pivot, a pirouette, and a late whistle comes in as he's sent to the floor. And the crowd does not love that, as Meadow going to be whistled for the foul. That's the 3rd on Meadow.
These are the type of plays that turn Xavier Dussel in from a shooter to a scorer. Cardenas rips a 3. That was an extra pass from Meadow, who's had a couple of really nice plays to start the second half.
Daniel Foster, a graduate player from Melbourne, Australia. One of the better defenders on this Nevada team. 1 and 2, Keene with the board. Love Keene's energy, by the way.
Absolutely.
Every single long rebounder, loose ball, he is right in the thicket of it. Cardenas looking for another triple. This is a Boise State team that averages 84 points a game at home, and this is going to be a foul on Davidson, his 2nd. And another Nevada turnover, their 9th.
Yeah, Davidson just has to get set. And he ran right through Cardenas, who sold it like he should. But Davidson needs to get set in that drag ball screen in semi-transition.
See Leon Rice giving the instructions there to Ugbo. And we had a great conversation with Leon Rice before shoot-around. He grew up more of a football guy in the state of Washington. And he said, I fell in love with basketball because of my high school coach that I knew was a very smart coach as Dussel tries to save it. Cardenas then fouled on the sideline by Brandon Love. But just to tag that story, Phil Neal is Leon Rice's high school head coach. And he said, I knew he was a great coach when he ran a boxing 1 against me in PE class. And he instilled a love for the game that I try to translate to my players even to this day.
A boxing 1 in PE class.
Unheard of, right?
You know, I just did think it was pretty cool. You mentioned the football background and Coach Rice's love for football. And he uses a football referee whistle in practice.
He had that on his hand that you see the football officials usually bring. I've never seen a head basketball coach have that. We talked about the football blocking pads out there. As Love picks up his 3rd foul. It speaks to the physicality of this Boise State team. Meadow trying to knife his way in the lane, and another foul against Nevada. It's the 6th already, Mike. Not even 3 minutes into the half.
And you can see the passion in Cardenas when he brought his team to a huddle. He's cheering on Meadow, and he's literally yelling at all of his players to keep all of his teammates to keep the intensity up.
It's the 2nd foul on Sanders, but now the next foul is going to send Boise State to the line. Degenhardt driving, 2 collapse on him. Buchanan, a jab step. 6 to shoot for Buchanan, trying to back down McBride, and Buchanan, and an out.
I think Buchanan's about to come out after that shot.
See Julian Bowie head to the scorer's table. McBride whips it over. Foster trying to get it to Davidson with Keene defending. Nice cut by Ducell, but misses it at the rim.
Excellent off-ball movement by Ducell. Just has to convert.
Cardenas brings the whole defense down to him. Buchanan lets it rain.
Cardenas is in takeover mode right now. He is making play after play after play for the Broncos. Cardenas draws two, kick out. One of the best passers in college basketball, making the right play.
Well, catch this Nevada squad back in action as they host their in-state rivals UNLV in another Mountain West showdown, a Silver State showdown, Saturday at 10 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network. And last year in 2 meetings, Thomas was terrific, Davidson was clutch as Nevada got both victories. A double-double for Davidson, but right now they can use more of Davidson because Boise State, with their largest lead of the game, they've outscored Nevada 9-3 here in the second half. And Spin Cardenas has been responsible for all 3 threes, whether he's making them or dishing it off.
It's Cardenas and the Broncos' energy on the offensive end of cutting, attacking, driving, and kicking. Just a lot more efficiency and crispness from Boise State in the second half.
Got him. Ducell running, fakes the 3, steps into the 2. And buries another 2-point attempt, and you talked about it earlier. He can get that anytime he wants.
That was a baseline screen, received 2 screens along the baseline, and he curl cuts so well off of that.
Ducell now 6 points, 2 of 6 from the field, has yet to hit a 3 in this game. He's second in the conference in 3-point field goal percentage. Buchanan, this time, backing down, Ducell, good fainting at it. Buchanan, oh, the patience is rewarded. Buchanan with 13 points now and just cool, calm, and collected. One of 3 Broncos in double figures. Davidson directing traffic. Wants to go with the 2-man game with Sanders. Sanders gets it back to Davidson. Davidson able to beat the double team for the finish.
Probably the cleanest look they've gotten in the second half. Good execution in the half court by the Wolfpack. Sometimes when things just aren't going super well, go to your best player.
Cardenas rips baseline. Broncos working around the horn. Buchanan, all the spin off Foster. Get out of here! Are you kidding me? What a spin by Buchanan. And the one-handed finish, and then a foul on the floor against Cardenas. Looking like a young Mike O'Donnell.
Not even close. This was about as good as it gets. Field the defender, spin off, dunk. Buchanan, 15 for the transfer. Wow.
Ten-point Boise State lead, 14:25 left in this ball game. And looking at the Mountain West Conference, Mike, you love some of the assists that we are seeing from some of the key point guards.
Some of the elite passers in college basketball nationally are in the Mountain West. Cardenas, we've talked about him, leads the Mountain West in assists. He's 7th in the nation, and he's surgical with it. Donovan Dent, an elite point guard, leads the Mountain West in scoring, and he throws dimes like nobody's business. Then D-Don Thomas, ultra smooth, calm, cool, and collected. 3rd in the Mountain West in assists per game, 6th in scoring. The point guards in the Mountain West are so fun to watch. And look at some of these names that Cardenas is closing in on. Anthony Marshall for UNLV, Jimmer Fredette for BYU. But Isaiah Stevens at the top, 863 assists.
Just completely different league.
Yeah, Isaiah Stevens was one of my favorite college basketball players in the last 10 years, regardless of conference. Just one of the all-time great point guards as far as I'm concerned.
Fouls on Julian Bowie, his 2nd. But going back to Jimmer Fredette, everyone took him as this catch-and-shoot, high-volume scorer.
great passer.
Great job.
Yeah.
That was with just 4 years as well. It wasn't with the 5th year or anything like that.
No question.
Sanders to Davidson. Davidson with 9 points, leading scorer for Nevada. No double team this time.
Oh, that is
fancy
gorgeous.
Footwork against Buchanan to avoid the shot block. So Davidson now with 11. He's in double figures, 4 of 6. Degenhardt's been quiet in the second half, but his teammates have been terrific.
They ran action to try to get Buchanan underneath the rim. Oh, what a jab step.
Cardenas draws 4 defenders. Degenhardt from the corner. Too strong. It's a battle for the board, and Nevada controls. Sanders, we see, pushing the pace a little bit here, trying to go one-on-one against Buchanan. Ducell, he gets a clean look. Still 0 from outside. One of the best three-point shooters in the conference.
And if you're Ducell, you keep shooting because they are clean looks. They'll fall.
Degenhardt double team out to Carmichael. Carmichael unfortunately can't handle it, and that'll be a turnover for Boise State.
This is gorgeous footwork from Davidson. Keeps his pivot foot, the spin away, the step through. Hey, Jordan, I can't see too well. Is that the George Mikan of the Mountain West?
I would agree with you in that situation. Has the nice little footwork to go with it, the finish, the touch for Davidson, and you love him and also Degenhardt's footwork. Those are the two things we were talking about during shoot-around, just how patient and balanced those two players are.
It's not just 2 of the best footwork maestros in the paint in the Mountain West. It's 2 of the best in the country. You get them within 8 feet of the rim, and they put on a clinic from a footwork perspective.
Rollison back in the game. You get the sense Nevada could really use a bucket here to just try and make this a 2 or 3 possession game. Davidson, chopped at, kicks it back up top. 4 to shoot here. Bailey has to get over. Rollison fires. That's going to be Boise State ball. No shot clock violation, and Buchanan will escort it down the floor. Buchanan wants a clear out. They decide to double him. Davidson pokes it out. Baseline out of bounds. Coming up for Boise State with 21 to shoot.
You wonder when Buchanan gets it in that mid-post area, they went immediately to a double team, how often that Nevada continues to do that and double him to slow him down. He's got 15. That's one of the best games of the season.
And a foul over the top on KJ Himes, and it's notable. It's his 3rd, but it also puts Boise State in the bonus, and that's Degenhardt, I believe, that's trying to get open, and Steve Alford not loving that.
Yeah, he's essentially saying that's the same thing that happens on the other end.
So Degenhardt stepped to the line, had 10 points in the first half. Really took over late in that game. That loss on the road at Colorado State. They trailed by 17 in the second half. And then he just took complete control of that game.
Yeah, dropped 27 against Colorado State. And does so much. You know, he doesn't just need the ball in a perfect ISO to be great. You know, offensive rebounds. You know, he can pick and pop. 3-point shooting, and his form is improved year over year over year.
A wise man once said he has good energy transfer.
That's the first time you've ever added intelligence to me there. Like I really appreciate that. I don't get that.
The more time I spend with you, the more I'm able to add it.
It's about maxed out though on intelligence, I can tell you.
Davidson, tough fade away over the outstretched arms of Buchanan. So well defended there. And Cardenas eyeing the floor, skips it over. Meadow in the corner. Boise State with a 14-8 advantage in paint points. Hit a couple of threes here in this half. Cardenas, late double team to him. Meadow. His 3 no good. Rebound Rollison. Momentary numbers for Nevada as Keene hustles back down the floor. And an interception. Then Meadow challenged at the cup and rolls it in. Broncos starting to stampede here in the second half. It's a 12-point lead.
Got an offensive foul.
And an offensive foul. It's going to be against KJ Himes.
Everything going right for the Broncos. The steal, the push, the finish. Broncos rolling.
Broncos up by a dozen, 11:37 left in this ball game. But how about the performance of Javen Buchanan coming off the bench tonight?
And Javen Buchanan has been stellar tonight. 15 points, 5 of 8 from the field. Go ahead and throw in 4 rebounds. He transferred from Indiana Wesleyan, an NAIA school, where he averaged 20 points a game. And Buchanan has really added another element to this Broncos team. He was an NAIA All-American first-team member. Played his basketball in Indiana. Had a stellar senior campaign where he was an Indiana All-Star. Averaged over 20 points a game. Didn't have a single Division I offer.
How does that happen? Because to be honest, 6'7", 230-pound forwards that can handle the ball and hustle hard don't grow on trees.
But I do think that happens when you play at a smaller school. And at the same time, though, Jordan, if you don't play on a big shoe circuit team, sometimes you just get underlooked. It does happen.
So playing on the Crocs circuit doesn't help you out for a lot of these guys.
Probably not.
Here's Meadow. His 3 off the background, but it's the Dark Knight with another offensive rebound. Buchanan eyes the double, tried to slip a pass to Degenhardt, off target. Nevada rips it away, and then Bailey loses the handle in transition, gives her right back to the Broncos.
For the Wolfpack in transition, you just have to find Rollison. You have to find him, you have to let him push, you have to let him orchestrate. It's one of the slowest tempos in college basketball, but when Rollison has the ball in his hands, things start to move quicker and the way they want it to move.
You saw the 13 turnovers already tonight for a team that averages 11. Buchanan, rainbow 3 will circulate some air, and that'll be Nevada ball. So the Wolfpack, it's been a struggle in Mountain West Conference play for them. This is a team that's been to the NCAA tournament the last 2 seasons. They won 26 games last year. But look at the numbers. The scoring, the field goal percentage, but mainly the 3-point shooting, down 9% in conference play. Rollison to Love. That's going to be a foul against the Broncos.
But, you know, who made that play? Rollison made that play. Turned the corner, got downhill, saw the short roll, made an excellent pass. The offense right now moving through Rollison is important.
Second foul on Degenhardt. To your point, we've seen Nevada, once they get to the half court, take 10 seconds, 15 seconds to kind of get into their initial action versus Rollison in that situation. No waste of time as soon as he crosses half court.
No question. Good things happen when you get the ball in the paint.
Foster, cross-court pass. Sanders, his 3. Bangs it home. Cuts the lead to 9 and ends a nearly 4-minute scoring drought for the Wolfpack.
That is Sanders' first made field goal of the game. This is a player who is 11th in the Mountain West in scoring.
Cardenas, some mid-air turbulence and gets the bucket to fall. So a 3-point play coming up for him, and that fouls against Rollison, his first.
We've been talking a lot about Buchanan, and he comes off that DHO, that dribble handoff from Degenhardt, turns the corner. Every point guard in college basketball has to have that teardrop floater in their game.
That's some tip to the bell. He's got 13 points on the night to go along with 3 assists, but has truly been the MVP, you could say, of the second half offensively for the Broncos. Pearson Carmichael back in the game for Boise State. Rollison thought about attacking.
They're just running baseline runner action to see if they get a curl cut. They do. They get it.
Sanders tried to go with the short over-the-top pass to Love, but Love fouled as he was trying to catch it. Crowd doesn't like it. And that's going to be against Keene, his second.
Well, they got a nice curl cut, but not much there. I will say this, Jordan. this game has had some difficult flow. And as a player, if I'm putting myself in the shoes of a player, I don't know if the game has been called consistently. I'm not saying the game's been called poorly at all, but sometimes you usually can get a pretty good feel on what the refs are looking for. And I haven't been able to get a feel for that in this game.
Sanders pump fakes Cardenas. Baseline jumper, no good. It's Love that's scrapping for it on the floor, and that's going to be a jump ball. Possession, Nevada. But to your point, we saw Boise State rack up a lot of fouls. I think it's natural in any game when you see a large foul discrepancy to the other side, you might start to see that pendulum swing the other way. And if you're Boise State, you might have to be cognizant of that.
Have to adjust, no matter what. You can complain and get frustrated all you want, but if you don't adjust and play the game within the game, it's going to hurt you.
How many fouls did it normally take you to see until you realize you had to make an adjustment?
Probably about 3. I could tell after 3 fouls the way that the refs are going to call it.
McBride popcorns out, and Degenhart will get the loose ball. Kicks it ahead to Cardenas. Carmichael the drive, and he gets checked at the cup. Here's Foster trying to push it. Goes coast to coast with the left hand. Foster getting his first points of the game. Still a 10-point lead for Boise State. Just under 9 minutes left in this game. Broncos sitting at 5-4, 5th place in the Mountain West Conference. They were picked to win the league. They've lost 3 games in the last 7 seconds this season. Buchanan trying to carve out some real estate. And how about the seal?
Cardenas didn't give him a perfect pass, and he sealed enough to grab that loose ball and finish it.
Cardenas now with 4 assists, 17 points for Buchanan. McBride hanging, missing. Keene, rebound number 8 for him. We've seen Nevada throw the double team at Cardenas a couple times. How do you like that against somebody with such good vision?
Never. I would never want to double team a great passer like that because someone's always open.
Degenhart rips it, drives baseline. It's short, knocked out of bounds. Boise State ball. We'll step aside for a moment, but Cardenas serving it up on a platter.
Everything cooking right now for Boise State. The entry pass, the steal from Buchanan. Tough finish. Broncos still rolling.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Metro. Wireless without the gotcha.
We are back, and with that, let's go ahead and revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by Metro, Mike.
Let's see, tempo for Nevada, only 2 fast break points, sending Boise State to the line a little bit too much, 9 of 12 from the free throw line. Boise State, extra possessions, they got 7 offensive rebounds. I think they're defending the 3 pretty well. Nevada, only 4 threes. This is a Nevada team that shoots exceptionally well from the three-point line.
And about a 4 of 15, just 27% shooting from beyond the arc. And the turnovers, both teams have turned the ball over a lot. It's been Boise State's ability to cash in off of those 13 Nevada turnovers. They've turned those into 14 points.
Well, how can you manufacture half-court offense when your best player, Tyson Degenhart, is just 3 of 10 from the field? You have to have those next guys that step up. And those next guys have been Buchanan, who's got 17, and Cardenas has got 13. I mean, his offensive activity, not just passing the basketball, but looking to score, has been impressive.
Yeah, came in averaging just under 12 points a game. Meadow back to Buchanan. Buchanan sees the double team. Meadow, this time, knifing through the lane, ripped down to the floor, and picks up the foul. That's going to be against Rollison. His second.
You could see that gap enough for Meadow. You could literally see his eyes see the gap and take that extra hard dribble to attack it.
And you said lately, Andrew Meadow has been unrecognizable compared to earlier in the season.
That's right. That's been well documented. He had arguably top 5 hair in college basketball until he decided to cut it. But the goggles remain the same.
See, Meadow, when he gets to our age someday, you want to hang on to every hair that you possibly can.
Oh, yeah, it's a huge key, and there's not much you can do. Yeah, I don't really want to follow up on those keys to the game in about 15 years.
No, gravity is not friendly later in life, my friend. Boise State with their largest lead of the game at 13. Nevada with just 14 points. They're shooting the ball a little bit more efficiently as Davidson draws the foul.
It's the third foul on Degenhardt.
7:27 left in this game. If you're thinking for Nevada, as many opportunities as you can to get to the line. They got to the line 10 times in the first half just to slow this game down and get some easy scoring.
And the next team foul for Boise State, you're going back to the free throw line. And we always talk about extending the game. How do you make 7:27 left in the game feel long and arduous for Boise State? You do that by getting the free throw line. It sets up your press. It also sets up your transition defense.
The biggest thing for Nevada, they've got to defend without fouling. Now that Boise State in the double bonus. Buchanan whips it over to Keene. 9 to shoot for Meadow. Meadow dumps it off. Degenhardt, the little bunny, and a smooch off the window.
He won't get any credit for it, but that cut by Cardenas, that basket cut, opened up all the spacing for Boise State.
9 field goals off of 6 assists in the second half for Boise State. Dussel thought about the step back. Keene closes out on him. Cardenas also hustles out to Rollison. Dussel poked away by Keene off the foot of Dussel. Broncos ball, and Leon Rice loves it.
Watch the cut by Cardenas. Number 11, he's at the left of your screen. That basket cut is hard. It opens up the spacing and the driving opportunity for Meadow for the kick. Scoring is the meal, but spacing sets the table. Another cut by Cardenas. Had him, too.
How hard he plays, and he plays at such a fast pace. Coach Rice talked about changing that up sometimes, but without the ball, his ability to just draw the defense with those cuts has really opened things up. 4 to shoot. Buchanan spinning, twirling, rising up. It's been his night, folks. Buchanan now with 19 points.
And we've got a slapping of the floor from Leon Rice. Wow.
Davidson, a silencer from up top, and puts a cap. A quick outburst from the fans.
This is that time, though, under 6 minutes, where I understand this is an obvious statement I'm about to make, but if you're just in trading basket situations right now, you've got no shot for Nevada. Nevada needs to get a kill. They need 3 stops in a row to manufacture some type of rhythm here with 5.5 left.
Problem is, Boise State shooting 50% from the field in the second half. Cardenas, and that's going to be a foul. And so much of what you're seeing as that one's whistled against Dussel is Boise State's ability to beat Nevada off the dribble.
This is about as low percentage as it gets, but it's also absolutely beautiful to watch go in. That's the best way to describe it. That's not a high percentage shot. A fadeaway from your, going to your left as a right-handed player from 17 feet.
Cardenas reigns in the first free throw, and the bench for Boise State, led by Buchanan, of course, has 22 points. They've outscored the Nevada bench by 12. We've got 3 players in double figures. Degenhardt with 14, Cardenas sitting on 14, and Buchanan with those 19.
And this is where Boise State can really hurt you. It's small, simple stuff, but they're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. They're 21 in the nation coming into this game at the free throw line, over 77%.
Shooting 75% tonight on 12 of 16. They average 17 makes per game. Sanders, you saw the switch from Boise State. His long 2. Bounces out. Davidson fighting for it. And that's poked away from behind by Keene. Cardenas up ahead. Meadow lowers the shoulder. That's going to be an offensive foul against Meadow. And that'll be the 4th foul on Meadow.
Let's see if he gets set. Sanders set. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That is absolutely a charge. And Meadow knows it, too.
So Meadow stays in the game with those 4 fouls. Sanders trying to go behind the back, a little loose with the dribble. Ducell, pump fake. Sanders whips it over. McBride rising up in the paint and knocks it down.
I just think it's got to be paint touch, paint touch, paint touch for the Wolfpack. You know, you're either getting something, either getting 2 points from inside the paint, or you're getting to the free throw line and stopping the clock. It's the only way right now.
Nevada shooting much better in the second half. 8 of 17 for 47%. McBride pokes it away and scoops it up. Buchanan whistled for the foul. But those are the plays, Michael.
Yeah.
Nevada's going to inch back into this game without much time left. Won't turn things around. The question was, clean block or not here?
Live, it looked like a clean block. There's a little push off there. I think you're saying that left arm of Buchanan hits the body. Yeah. The block at the top is clean. The left arm into the body is an automatic foul call.
McBride misses the free throw. And now you see Leon Rice saying box out. Something they work on harder than any team I've ever seen in a shoot-around, mind you, with the drill they had earlier. McBride hits 1 of 2. Lead is 12 with 4:30 left for Boise State.
The 2 teams that I have seen work hardest in rebounding and shoot-arounds have been Boise State and Houston.
Yes. Kelvin Sampson and his team picked up a monster win against West Virginia on the road today. Degenhart tiptoeing the sideline and calls the timeout before the footsies go out of bounds. Boise State 12-point lead, just over 4 minutes left as the Broncos try to bring this one home. 12-point lead for Boise State, 4:12 left in this game, and it's time to get more with the Geico play of the game. Any guesses here, Mike O'Donnell?
How about a little spin move from Jacob Buchanan? This is a thing of beauty. You and I were talking about how hard of a move that is to keep your balance. I don't have any experience in working on my footwork in the low post as someone who's 5'11" with shoes on, but you do, Jordan. I mean, what are you, about 6'4"?
6'4", legit, yep, 6'4", barefoot.
I don't know why you have to say legit after that.
Well, listen, you know in these basketball media guides, and we talked about this with Tyson Degenhart, you'll see someone listed as 6'7" or 6'8", and they're generous with a couple of inches. Tyson Degenhart, every bit of 6'8", by the way.
And it's been a quiet game for him. Just 14 tonight, but Cardenas and Buchanan have really stepped up the scoring load for Boise State.
But to tag that real quick, when you spin, you've got to make one bounce where you can catch and gather real quick, and you saw that from Buchanan.
I'll start working on that. I appreciate that.
You've got little ones at home. You can work on them. Here's Cardenas working the 2-man game with Degenhart. Flips it over to Buchanan. He has to force up another tough 3 off the heel. And a foul on the floor against McBride. And Steve Alford just has his hands above his head with a grin on his face and can't believe it. And it sends Degenhart to the line. Degenhart with 4 points in the second half, but a perfect 4 for 4 from the free throw line so far. And a hush here at ExtraMile Arena as the free throw's good. Coming up next, head to the studio and get in-depth highlights and analysis of the latest hoops action as we go coast to coast on Inside College Basketball right here on CBS Sports Network. Another busy evening in the world of college basketball, and a couple of close games. We had a real close one between Alabama and Mississippi State as well. So it's that time of year where you can start to project some tournament seeding potentially. Boise State looking on the outside of the NCAA tournament at the moment, but can pick up some steam. And how about Sanders with the excellent spin and finish?
There's a lot of Kyle Anderson in his game. The big 6'8" point guard. Very smooth.
Sanders with 7, 2 of 8 from the field.
Zone here for the Wolfpack.
We haven't seen much of that all night. Meadow goes baseline, up and under, blocked by McBride. Nevada's going to have to hustle down the floor. Not too many possessions remaining in this one. Davidson, and that's going to be foul number 4 on Degenhart.
Yep.
So for Boise State, an 11-point lead, but no field goal in the last 3 minutes, and now their star with 4 fouls.
You can feel the chess match in the low post between Degenhart and Davidson. It's just a battle of footwork, and you don't know who's going to win it. They're both elites at establishing position and then spinning off a defender and baiting them in a foul.
Davidson, the free throw's no good. Nevada 3 of 7 from the line in the second half. They shoot just 68% from the line as a team. So losing some change in the couch here with the Wolfpack. An easy opportunity to try and chisel away at this lead. Meadow, patient against Sanders. Davidson shows the double. Degenhart now with 7 to shoot. Hard double coming his way. Cardenas back to Degenhart. Degenhart has to rise and fire. A solid stop for the Wolfpack.
Dussel has been really quiet in the second half.
Hasn't hit a 3 all game. McBride spinning Meadow, and that's going to be foul number 5 on him. So Meadow out of this game, and McBride will now get a chance at the line.
Would say the Wolfpack are doing a pretty solid job of what we thought, Jordan, that they were going to try to do. Stop the clock, get to the free throw line by attacking the paint via off the bounce or in post-up situation.
Now for Nevada, you just have to hit your free throws. You have missed the front end of several 1-and-1s, and now you're in the double bonus. It was a shooting foul also, but got to make these count down the stretch.
That's the key. They're 14 to 20 from the free throw line, but 4 of those have been on the front end of a 1-on-1.
McBride misses the first. .60% shooter on the season, 1 of 3 tonight. He's been a little bit more active these last couple of minutes, closing out defensive possessions. Misses them both, so Nevada's missed their last 3 free throws, and now Boise State, who's gone over 3 minutes and 45 seconds without a field goal, trying to put an end to the drought. Try to put a seal on this game. It's Buchanan, game high 19. Degenhart sets the screen. He's got those 4 fouls. Cardenas flips it over. Bowie, 4 to shoot. Back to Degenhart. Clean look. No good, but who else? It is Keene with his 10th board of the game.
Just everywhere tonight. Absolutely everywhere.
How about this? Keene hasn't taken a shot all night, but 10 rebounds and has completely impacted this game. 5 to shoot. Cardenas pivot, spins out. Bowie. His 3. Oh, it's good. Julian Bowie, welcome to the party. Makes it a 14-point lead for Boise State with just a minute 37 remaining.
The scatter report in high school for Julian Bowie was big-time athlete with range. 39% from 3, and a huge 3 from the freshman Julian Bowie, and that was delivered by guess who? Cardenas with his 5th assist on the night.
The upcoming road for Boise State, sitting at 5-4. You've got Fresno State, UNLV, you can catch on CBS Sports Network, San Jose State, and then 2 big matchups at San Diego State, and then home against New Mexico, which you can also catch on the fine CBS Sports Network. You get the sense, Boise State, you're sniffing 4 out of the next 5 that you feel you should be able to win. All 5 are winnable for the Broncos.
And you're looking at also multiple quad 1 opportunities against San Diego State. The New Mexico one, not quite yet, but if it was today, it wouldn't be quad 1 game. But New Mexico is playing so well right now. They've won 9 out of their last 10. By the time they get there, it may end up being a quad 1 opportunity.
6 teams received first place votes in the preseason poll in the Mountain West. Boise State was the leading vote getter. They feel they just had a couple of games that have scrolled away from them. Davidson cans the three in the corner, cuts the lead to 11 with 1:23 left, and Nevada will call a 30-second timeout.
Davidson has had to work for everything tonight. He's got 18 points. Every single look has been contested in the highest possible way.
Coming up next for Nevada, we already promoted that matchup against UNLV. They can catch here, then Air Force, Fresno State, San Jose State, and then Colorado State. So Nevada, one of those teams too, as we mentioned, when you get to the conference tournament, you could possibly heat up, or you find that rhythm, that pace that they're looking for. It's going to be a battle when all these teams get to Las Vegas in March.
It's a battle. It's going to be wild. I mean, look how good that Colorado State is playing. You get them in a neutral site. And then UNLV, quote-unquote neutral site out in Vegas. And you got Deion Thomas breaking down in pick-and-roll action. I mean, it's, you know, top to bottom, the league is awesome. It always is. And, and Air Force isn't an easy out either. No. You look at Air Force's record and you say, no way. They run the Princeton offense. They wear you down. It's exhausting to prepare for that.
You had an excellent call on that buzzer beater. San Diego State escaped the Air Force Academy, and there's going to be a foul on Rollison. So you got tussled up with Degenhart. It's going to be the third on Rollison, and so that'll send Tyson Degenhart to the line once again. But looking at Boise State, the pieces they have and how well they rebound, it's hard to find a lot of weaknesses with this team. It's just a matter of, are they hitting their shots? And especially when someone like Buchanan is playing the way he is, like he did tonight off the bench.
They play at a slower tempo. And defensively, they're not really looking to turn you over. When you play against Boise State, you're not really turning the ball over that much. But you don't get a lot of clean looks either. They're trying to slow the game down. It's more of a gritty efficiency on both ends of the floor. But their offense is excellent. They're 37th in the nation, according to Ken Palm, in adjusted offensive efficiency. They don't shoot the three great. That's their one Achilles heel on the offensive end. They're a below average three-point shooting team.
They are right on the dot at their season average of 32% tonight, 8 of 25. As Degenhart hits them both. And
they've taken a lot of them. They've taken 25 threes.
Yeah, they have. I thought it was interesting. Leon Rice, who was an assistant underneath Mark Few at Gonzaga for 11 seasons. He was Few's first outside hire. Was able to get Degenhart from Spokane. And then Rollison fouled as he goes at the cup. This one will be against Ugbo. His first.
Coach Rice was reminiscing about the days of Dan Dickow at Gonzaga, a fellow CBS Sports Network colleague. Does a great job calling games. I used to record Dan's games on VHS. That's how old I am, Jordan Kent.
Please educate some of our viewers what a VHS is, my friend.
I don't even know how to explain it. There's like tape involved, and there's this like thin box, and you push it in, and you press. You almost have to do like go to class to learn on how to record on a VHS. It wasn't easy.
You could never get the time right. It was always just flashing 12.
I couldn't figure it out, but my mom figured it out.
We can send rockets to the moon, but we can't figure out the VCR time. Now we have a whistle, and I believe this is a clock issue right now. Speaking of clocks,
never had an issue.
I think they had a VCR up above. That's why.
Never really had an issue taping over home movies to catch some Dan Dickow games. Got in trouble a few times, but it was worth it.
And who needs your first steps? You got Dan Dickow raining threes on tape.
That's right.
So they'll be kind and rewind the possession here and get it to Degenhart. Quick trap, flips it over to Buchanan, up ahead to Cardenas. And the foul on Cardenas as Bailey comes crashing in. It's going to be the second foul on Bailey, and it's an 11-point lead for Boise State with 1:07 left.
And it may be a simple thing, but Boise State has done a very good job capitalizing at the free throw line. 15-20 from the free throw line tonight.
And you had to jinx them.
Don't put that evil on me.
He's looking at you right now, disappointed in the fact that you made Cardenas miss that free throw.
I'm just kind of subconsciously and physically just curling into my seat right now.
Second one off target for Cardenas. Now Rice is really mad at you, Mike. 11-point lead for the Broncos. Nevada will have to be quick here. Sanders, the drive, the dish. McBride takes the contact and gets the finish. 54.7 left. Bowie sprinting down the floor.
You got a trap opportunity.
You tied up, gets it out to Cardenas. A lot of time coming off the clock as well, too, as McBride will finally corral him.
It's just a slightly critical of Nevada here. You look at that last possession of how much urgency there was to quickly get into the paint. That needed to happen at the 6-minute mark.
Yes.
And it didn't. And that's something that you'll look back on the film session and say, look at this possession, guys. And look how quickly we got up the court. Look how easily we got into the paint and we got a bucket. And that needed to happen in that 6.5-minute mark where there was an opportunity to climb back and you're starting to chip away.
So Degenhart will check out. He finishes with 17 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Another solid performance for him as Rollison flips it over to Sanders. Sanders getting to the cup. Boise State trying not to foul here. This is a 9-point lead for the Broncos. Ugbo kicks it back to Cardenas. Keep an eye on that 10-second count, but that's going to be a foul on Sanders. That's his third, and now Cardenas will head to the line, and Cardenas with 17 points have a chance to match Buchanan for the game high. What a luxury to have Cardenas at the end of the game, someone that's solid at the free throw line and can also get out of those double teams, and there I did it.
It's luxury, you know, Jordan, but you know, the story of the game was Buchanan. I mean, you think Degenhart's on the bench now with 4 fouls. I mean, he has 17 points, but he was just 4 of 13 from the field. So you're playing against multiple defenders. And Nevada's one of the tallest teams in the country, so it's not an easy night for Degenhart, but you had Buchanan there to really help extend yourself in your offense and give some breathing room to Degenhart.
Nevada will call off the dogs and refuse to foul, and Cardenas will dribble it out as Boise State will improve to 6-4 in conference play, 14-7 overall. Nevada will fall to 3-7. As you mentioned, Buchanan off the bench is 19 points to lead the way for Boise State. Cardenas with 18, Degenhart with 17, and now Boise State, the team picked to win the conference in the preseason poll, inches just a little bit closer to the top of the standings. Everybody chasing New Mexico and Utah State that have raced out to terrific starts in conference play.
And Colorado State, San Diego State right before Boise. Don't forget about UNLV, though. That's a team that can beat anybody in the Mountain West.
Your final from Boise, 66-56. From Mike O'Donnell and our entire crew, I'm Jordan Kent. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We now send you back to Adam and the gang in our New York studio for Inside College Basketball as we say good night from Boise.